There's no place I'd rather be.
Guys, so I wanted to record a quick video for the early stage entrepreneurs out there, just who've been following me over the last month or so, and to kind of lead into some more of the content and the personal coaching that I want to do for would-be entrepreneurs, first-time entrepreneurs, and startup teams. So as an entrepreneur, I have, it's not my first rodeo in terms of my current company, what I'm doing. I'm not, just somebody who's doing content for the heck of it, and I'm just starting to learn. I've done multiple companies. Some have done well and left me kind of at the top of the world, rolling in dough, so to speak. And then other companies that I've done have failed miserably and left me deeply in debt and deeply in bad times. So I have literally felt the emotional roller coaster of the ups and downs. And I'm not talking about small time money or small time pain either. I'm talking about life-changing stuff here, not just like somebody rejects you and that's it, or you get like a $5,000 a month client. I'm talking, life ending and life creating types of things. And the one thing that I've kind of learned really throughout that, and probably a lot of people who are better with their emotions and better with their finances know this ahead of time, but you really need to be driven not by your emotions, but by logic. Here's what I mean by that. Yes, usually the thing that gets you into entrepreneurship is a desire to prove yourself. It's a desire to solve a certain problem. It's an emotional need that you're trying to meet through accomplishing something big. And all those late nights in the office, those early mornings, getting up, all that hustle that you're watching is kind of leading to that level. So why wouldn't you want to be emotional in your day-to-day entrepreneur life? And you actually have to think about it not in terms of what you're doing right now currently on the struggle, but if you actually make it, or if you actually have some big virality or some big client come in or a big launch of customers, if you get in the habit of getting emotional and letting that sort of drive your decision making or your work ethic, that can be a big mistake. And I'll give you a couple of examples, one from the top side of this and one from the bottom side of this. So at the peak of my marketing agency, we're in Miami, we're making a bunch of money. At that point, I decide essentially to get rid of my philosophy for the last 2 or 3 years. Before that, saving money, not hiring people until we absolutely need them. And I went crazy in terms of just hiring all these people at once without really, just kind of like a gut feel, because everything was going well at that point. So I kind of felt like it would go well. And that was what my gut instinct was. And then I backed it up in terms of logic. It ended up spiraling kind of the downfall slowly of the company. Likewise, a few months, or not a few months later, but at a later time, I was working on a kind of influencer comedy prank channel project with a bunch of people. And they essentially was just costing me a lot of money. But I had a lot of opportunities with famous people and people who were, kind of big in that space. But because of some just like massive failures and stuff that was happening in my life at the time, I gave up and I didn't move forward with that. And now I'm kind of having to pick the pieces up of that later on. And I think that if I had the whole time adopted a policy of not allowing the emotions to drive the entrepreneurship, instead just being driven by habit, not doing these big bursts, I think things would have worked out better. So even without those extreme examples, I would advise anyone who's getting into entrepreneurship to know the reasons why you're doing it, but on a day-to-day basis, practice being stoic about it and not getting too worked up or using that worked up to make decision or to go after sales process or a big workload. Folks, so I wanted to run through the latest updated kind of pitch and plan for the One Network. So if you guys are not already involved and signed up on the Discord, please sign up now. The link is going to be in the description. It is totally free for everyone right now. But I just want to break it down. So we know entrepreneurship is a lonely process for everybody, in that an actively engaged group of people who are similarly like-minded to you has a lot of benefits in terms of helping you actually have success with your venture. And there's been a lot of kind of quotes and people over time who have, rightly so, explained the value of a network. But we're even a little more than that for would-be founders, first-time founders, and early-stage teams. So you don't even need to be necessarily an entrepreneur if you're entrepreneurially minded. But based on kind of the most recent interviews that I've done on the podcast and stuff that I've cataloged over the years, my kind of theory is that the success of a company, kind of A or B, I'm not talking about like unicorns or crazy big companies, but it tends to be based on 50% of the strength of your network. If you start in a industry where you have a lot of connections, you do well. So the value is in the network. And if you don't have that, it's very hard to do well, regardless of your product market fit or how crazy your product is or whatnot. Think about Facebook. Think about all like the big examples of people that's how they move it forward. Of course, you got to have emotional tenacity. Otherwise, you're going to give up with the failures. It's 20%, 15%, the financial resources, just when you're able to invest, advertise, corner the market. That's big. Or, even if you have the money, you have to be willing to risk it. So that element of risk plays a big role. And then the big factors that people often overestimate, market timing and product market fit, I would say are 15. So how we're going to do it and address each of these points one by one in this network is fivefold. One, we're going to build out networks for you, including contact information you'll be able to get specific to your niche, ed tech, etc. People who could help you start and grow your company in that niche. Cold Email was an agency that I'm in. We're going to have potential clients for you, potential partners, ways to promote, etc. I'm going to make sure the other members in the network are non-competitive with you if you join first. Then we're going to give you access to that co-pilot network where you're going to be matched not with a co-founder, but kind of somebody who's in a similar position who's going to help give you that emotional support that you're going to need. Transparent, honestly, we're going to train people on how to be honest and how to really actually support you so you don't give up too soon. Then we're going to eliminate the war chest that gives you an advantage if you've raised money and if you're not bootstrapping, etc., by providing you most of the products and services you need for free. So companies who partner with us will offer their product for free to you, the entrepreneur, potentially an agreement for a stake in your company that we manage through the network and our holding company, or just for promotional purposes. And then obviously what I've talked about a lot is exchanging value. People will do freelance services for you if you do something for them. That's going to be managed through the network and ultimately through the app. Then with respect to these co-pilot groups, we're going to address the product market fit and those kind of areas, because we're going to lay out these business templates and explain how certain growing, expansive, and exciting niches work. And we're going to tell you which ones don't work anymore or are too competitive. And then eventually we're going to use AI to help give you business ideas and grow those business kind of components as time goes on. So obviously the MVP right now is just the community, which is on Discord, working on that. I'm kind of new to Discord. I'm a Slack guy, so we're going to build it up over time, or I'm going to hire somebody and bring them on to manage it. The content as far as the individual niches is on Notion. Everything's linked together with Zapier, and we're going to eventually link that with CRMs and stuff like that. The pricing, you can sign up for this now, and basically we'll kind of fill in the blanks later. But if the higher tier is going to have more exclusive access, more exclusive niche assignments, whereas the free is just going to be basically like engaging on the Discord and nothing is managed by our team. And then that top tier, we're going to actually promote you, put you on the podcast, source you in this kind of influencer business guru network that we have. I'm growing this mainly through all of the media properties that I have, and I have more than this. Doing an Andrew Tate style kind of affiliate scheme with people promoting clips of the podcast and all that type of stuff, me talking. And yeah, we're seeking capital as well. So that's kind of the last part here, which is just certain things that we need to get it to the next level. So you're interested in investing in the holding company or the operating company, and you've got a little capital put to work, hit me up. My email's in this presentation, which I'm going to link. You're welcome. Thanks.